In this video, I'm going to share one way that you can set up a scavenger hunt using breakout rooms in Neuro. So this is just an example of something I did during our carousel collaboration. I provided the participants with these blanks, and they're going to collect the letters along the way through their scavenger hunt. And this is what I would do for students as well. I would give them these instructions, tell them that they're going to be placed randomly in a room, tell them what to do when they get into that room, and how to navigate through the activity. We're going to tell them to navigate to the slide that matches the answer to that question. So as they work through the slides, they'll fill in the puzzle with the letters provided. Once the phrase is completed, they can return to the main room and send me a private chat. So of course you can kind of tailor these activities however you see fit. You can make the phrases not easily guessable, and having the phrase is just a quick and easy way for you to see that they got all of the questions correct. You could just have them record the answers to each of the questions and give you those. So there's a few different ways to do this. And then I would provide them, we would talk afterwards about the phrase. This was more for the teachers in that carousel of collaboration. But the following 9 slides are slides I just put together to put in each of the 9 rooms. So here's an example. When they get to this slide in this room, they'll say, what is our mascot? And they're like, oh, it's a bee, right? So then they're going to navigate to the room that's called B, like buzz, B. And they'll place V in space number 1. Down here is the word or answer that brought them to this room. And that just helps me figure out what to name this breakout room. And it's kind of like it's a scavenger hunt. So if I go to now, let's see, this says cabinet. See, so I'm going to find the one that was answering about cabinet. Hold on, to kind of show you how that flow goes. Another name for the leaders of our school, cabinet. So then that would take them to this slide. See, cabinet. What is our mascot? Bee. And then that would take them to this one, Fava Bee. And they would answer that question and kind of just go through the slides. You can do something similar. You could do like a gallery walk where each slide has a different anything, whether it's an image or a writing sample, something you want the kids to discuss. They can leave their observations written on the screen. You can have like a box for them. You can have them share over the microphone, and you can record in breakout rooms. So there's definitely a lot of different uses for this. Whoops. Okay, so now let me show you how to do this in Neuro. So you have your Neuro classroom open, and there's 2 ways to set up breakout rooms. You can set them up in advance, which I recommend. When you set them up in advance, you can add the slides to the playlist. Adding slides to the playlist is really helpful, so that way students don't X out the slide and then they're gone, right? You can instruct them on how to access them from the playlist. If you want to do it while students are in the room, that's totally fine. You can push slides to all the breakout rooms. So we're going to click breakout. And if there were students in the room, you would see a list of students here. Of course, I don't have a list of students because I can't even show you that, but you can assign them randomly. You can click and drag the students into the rooms. You can even upload soon a CSV file with groups already formulated. And if you click settings here, this is where you can control all the settings of the breakout room. You want to make sure to click room switching because this is going to allow your students to move throughout the rooms on their own. You can certainly take away any of these permissions. Right now, in my classrooms, I've been having them all on because we want them to be able to chat. We want them to be able to talk on the whiteboard, all those things. And I'll just click start. Let's see. You can see I only have 4 rooms. I need 9. So let me go back to manage rooms, and I'm going to add 9 rooms just by clicking this plus because that's how many my activity has. And here I'm going to rename them. So remember I put that in my, what do you call it? My slide deck. Hold on one second. Tools, breakout, You should be able to do it from here. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why it wasn't working before. So I gave myself that little clue as I set up my scavenger hunt. Slide 1 was going to be cabinet, 2 is new row, 3 is zoom, 2 is new row, 3 is zoom, Lava Bee, the staff. You can see you can just click on these and rename them. I'm renaming them the answer to the question, so it kind of takes them through. And then you would click start. Okay, now to set this up in advance, you just navigate to the room. So we're going to go to room number 1. And I've saved each of those files as a single file, like a single slide. So you go to Files, and we're going to add a file. And I'm going to add slide number 1. That's just what I called it. I should probably call it cabinet. That would help me. All right, and you're going to add it to the playlist. Sometimes you have to do it twice. I don't know why. New row can be funky. There we go. So see, now this is the breakout room number 1. It's all set up, ready to go. So if a student were to come in here and X this out, and they're like, raise their hand, it's gone, it's gone. Before I send them to breakout rooms, I always sort of instruct them and remind them they can grab the file from the playlist. So that does take a little coaching and a little practice. But once the kids get it and they've done it enough, you'll be good to go. So as the teacher before, you're just going to set up all the rooms by clicking into the room and going to files and adding your file for that room. And you can leave the breakout room set up like this. I've done it so many times. You can do this on a Monday, close the new row room. Maybe you teach on Wednesday, you log in and everything is as it should be. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it's always worked for me and other teachers. So if that ever does not happen, let your lead teacher know or let me know, and we'll want to submit a ticket. So you just go to each room and set them up. And the thing that really makes this work is now that the students can move themselves throughout the room. So some teachers are a little hesitant to do this activity because you can see it does take a little bit of time. I mean, I'm on 8 minutes of this recording. I'm already in room 3. So, I mean, it could maybe take a total of, I don't know, 20 minutes. And once you have, and you can even take my deck and edit it, because it already has the pathway set up, and make it your own. Okay, so let's just say I have all the rooms set up, and we go back to the main room. And you're here, you're teaching your class, you're telling the kids it's time to go, you give them all the instructions to do the activity, and then you would go to manage rooms, and all your kids would be here, and you would just click assign students randomly. I can't do it because I don't have students. And they would magically, seemingly, get dropped into all these rooms. You can choose, once you assign them randomly, you can choose like 5 per room or 6 per room. So they'll all start out in different places if you choose, and then work their way through the puzzle. So let's just say I'm going to start in room, I don't know, 2. Although this might not work seamlessly because, because I didn't put files in every room. Let's say I started in room 2. Yeah, so let's see. Go to the name of the room that matches the animal in this picture. All right, so I would have to set this totally up for you. I would have to go to the room snake. Let's just say that was this one. Okay, it's like, oh, what is our mascot? Navigate to the room with this answer. I'm placing a V in space 1. Oh, I'm going to go to room that says B. And this is what students would do. They would come up here to this blue bar and they would go, oh, okay, Vava B. I'm going to go to that room next. And then they get here and there's a slide. Go to the room, something. Oh, okay. I'm going to go to this room. This was just one way to set up a scavenger hunt. Have the question on the board, on the slide, give them something to pick up as they go, like this letter, and then navigate to that room with the name. Just one way to do it. Once they're in here, they have moderator privileges unless you have changed those settings for them. So you can also record those breakout rooms and record, like if you're going to do student feedback, they can just navigate to each of the rooms and leave their feedback on the microphone, and you can share those recordings with students. Of course, that takes a lot of coaching because you want them to give appropriate feedback. You can't be in every single room all the time. You can, let's see, what else can I share with you? You click Manage Rooms. Let's see. No, I'm going to go back to the main room. From the main room, you can broadcast to all rooms. So you can send them an announcement. If you're like, oh, you guys, we have 5 more minutes left, you can send them an announcement. It'll pop up on their screen. You can broadcast files. This is what you would do if students were already in the room. And you're like, oh, let me send you this, you know, whatever it is you want to send them. Let me send you this file on dinosaurs to help you with this activity. It's not in there yet, and you can just broadcast it and it'll automatically go onto the screen for them. The one thing about broadcasting, again, is it does not show up in the playlist. So just keep that in mind. And you cannot broadcast unless there are students in the room. So it's kind of one or the other. Set the room up in advance by going to each of the rooms and putting what you want in there, or wait until there are students in the rooms and broadcast it out. When you're done with breakout rooms, you can just click Manage Room and click Close All Rooms. When you do that, it will bring everybody back to the main room. It's like virtual whiplash. And everything that happened in those breakout rooms will stay in the breakout rooms. It just stays there. So if you want to edit them for next time, there is well, once you have it launched, there's like a clear all, so you can definitely clear all the rooms. But it's kind of good because those students can work on things over time. You can access student annotations if you're trying to see like their individual or group work after the fact. I hope that this was helpful. I know it was kind of quick. And if you ever want to jump in a Zoom room and work through it together, or if you want me to visit your live class, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know. Thanks.